Hi, Frederik. Hello and welcome. I will be playing tapes for the next hour, as usual, and today I have put together a program of ambient music, and I've been very I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a program about ambient music because it's like I feel like I have a very like complicated relationship to ambient music, but today I'll do it, and I'll try to avoid saying not nice things about labels I don't like and stuff. But I also came to bed very late yesterday, and my irresponsibility shouldn't lower the quality of the radio show, of course. But I got very few hours of sleep, and I was originally because like I got like the reason I stayed up very late yesterday was that I was at a concert, and I got quite a lot of sodas from people. So I was originally thinking about doing a program today where I would just play music from people who gave me sodas at the concert, but that would be sort of incorrect to do because then it would be some kind of like paid airplay of sorts, which wouldn't be nice to do. So I regret that idea and found my my bag of ambient tapes deep in in the back of my tape collection, because when I started ordering tapes, I was there was like a very active tape ambient scene in around like 2015 to 2018 maybe. I bought a lot of tapes from labels like Janus Hoved and Posh Isolation from Denmark, Perfect Aesthetics from Russia, Holy Geometry from Germany. I'm forgetting. So Vienna Press from Australia. There was like a lot of labels doing very lo-fi, very primitive ambient music, and then like there came sort of like in around 2018 there came like a new generation where they started to produce music on the computer, and suddenly there came like those like trap beats and big like digital reverbs, and the covers, like the tape started to getting sort of pro dubbed instead of home dubbed, so they sound like a lot more boring, and everything suddenly got very very clean, and I'm sure all those people are just much more like forward thinking than I am because they actually like tried to use modern technology and stuff, but that doesn't really interest me. So I got very very disappointed with ambient music, and stopped ordering those tapes, and went to find more sort of more lo-fi and extreme music. But I kind of regret that today, because it's like now I feel like I'm mostly listening to tapes which is like all the time, and that's like sometimes I wonder like what the fuck am I doing? Like it was quite nice with like melodies and stuff back then. So today I'm going to play old, and I've also still there are still people doing nice ambient tapes, and I get really happy when I find some of them. So the first tape we're going to listen to today is by an American project called Apologist, which is a person who runs the label Austerity Measures, a really nice label which is like the perfect tape label, like no music posted online, and very gnarly Somi presence, and it's amazing. And this tape is from the second Austerity Measures batch, and it's ambient music in the very like restricted, very very primitive way, very like conservative way. I like it. Yeah, thanks for listening. I'll be playing music for a little less now than an hour, and talk between the tracks. Hopefully not too much, but yeah. Så skal jeg lige slukke den her. So this tape is, as mentioned, the project Apologist, and it's, yeah, I like it's very, very simple sounding, just like a Casio keyboard preset, and then like a few notes, and then like it's very. I think one of the things which sometimes can happen is that like some people they sort of they get like to me for my taste like too advanced skills like in recording. So like because like musicians feel sometimes that like they have to evolve and like learn new things, and I'm like I don't know, I really prefer very simple recordings oftentimes. Like it's like things can really evolve to, and sometimes it's also like when people stop recording to tape and they record to the computer and stuff, like then it's maybe more, then you can maybe hear that the like maybe the sound was nicer than the ideas behind it. And then when things get very clean, it's like then the ideas are maybe not that interesting always. Next tape is from Dominic Coppola, an American guy who released like I think like 12 tapes in maybe like 1 or 2 years, and then kind of like stopped. Or I think he still makes music, but I have kind of lost touch with it. But he made like, it's like these tapes are quite amazing because they all sound the same. Like it's guitar, like guitar recorded to like a 4-track tape machine and probably some like shitty pedals and stuff. And it's like I talked with my friend Jakob about like these tapes wouldn't be nice if they were like a half hour or 40 minutes, but they're all like 20-minute tapes, so it's like the perfect length, I think, for like an ambient release, because it doesn't get this like blurry mess of sounds. Like 20 minutes and then over, which is nice. But apparently he was quite young and just very like enthusiastic about tapes and stuff, and then he recorded like a lot of stuff in very short time, and then like got probably had to get a job or whatever and stuff. But this tape is called Swoon Season. It's from 2016, and even though there is like a unhealthy use of the most controversial reverb, shimverb, on this tape, it's still really really nice. So we're going to listen to that one. So next up is some a little less sort of easy music, but so there was like back in the glory days of tape ambient, there was a label from Australia called Vienna Press, which was very active and was very like influential. And the guy who ran the label is like still kind of a mysterious figure. I think apparently he was like an art professor of some kind, and he ran a few different tape labels and had a project called Victorin Morat, which did three like really amazing tapes of like really, it's like musique concrète, but in a really like perfectly shitty way. It's like it's the mix between like really weird like field recordings and like very mysterious sounds, and then just like Casio keyboard presets. It's like the perfectly sort of cheap musique concrète. And the tapes were very like it was very it felt very serious. There was always like some quotes like on the tapes, which was usually taken from some like art history books, or like I think there was like some text from a Judith Butler book on one of the tapes. It was very like it was really very interesting project, and unfortunately he didn't get any interviews or anything, so he didn't really got, or maybe didn't want it to explain what it was about, but it's still like a kind of a mystery to me. And he as many nice musicians do, he totally disappeared from music, and I have tried for a few years to get in contact with him, and I think I've tried like maybe 3 or 4 different email addresses with no luck. So I think he just wants to be left alone, and the music also sounds like coming from a person which really just want to be left alone somewhere in Australia. But it's this track, because I don't have, and that's a like big that's a big problem. I don't have. I have actually one. I have the least interesting Victorin Morat tape, but this track is from a compilation on Belgium label Audio Visuals Atmosphere, which released really great stuff back then, and then it got lesser nice. But this track, which has a very long title, I can't remember, from Victorin Morat, and released on the Optical Resonances compilation in 2016. So yeah, this track was really really nice, and I think you should. I would say that people should go out and get all the Victorine Morat tapes, but I'm like I need them myself, so I don't. People should go out and find them when I've found my copies, probably very very soon. But yeah, next up is a tape from a artist from Finland, and it's like a newer tape from last year. No, from this year, from a project called Absolute Key, which is like it's like mostly like a hash noise tape, but it ends with like it ends in what you could maybe call ambient music, and it's really like it has like it has the sound, very specific sound I like. So I got really happy when I found it, and it's released on the American label Tribe Tapes, which is a quite fun, totally like unpredictable label. Let's see if this is. This is probably not the right side of the tape. Just a second. I just have to find the right place on the tape. This is real authentic tape radio. Have I even put the right tape in the? Yeah, I think yeah, that's the right tape. But now you'll all have to wait until I find the right part of the tape. I think it maybe. Yeah, it might start. Yeah, it's here. So next up is a tape from I think it's from France. It's a project called Canadian Rifles, which is kind of a peculiar name for a project, but it's the guy who runs the label called Eastern Nurseries, which was like I was really into that label in the beginning, and then the youngsters came with trap beats and stuff, and I didn't really and they are just a lot more like they are more like brave and forward thinking than I am. Like I am the like conservative idiot here, I know, but it's like and it's but it's interesting. Like they are still active and yeah, if they are probably like Eastern Nurseries is carrying that scene on, and I think it's like it has moved, like they still do tapes, but it's like things has moved very much to SoundCloud, which is a weird platform. I don't really I haven't really gone used it a lot, but it's that's how stuff works nowadays. I just have to shut up and listen to my tapes and not be angry about it. And there is one label I am the German label Sale Records. They do to me the most unaesthetic tapes ever. They gentrified ambient music a little bit, I think, or I maybe just don't get it. But yeah, I think the reason I'm talking right now is I'm waiting for this tape to rewind, and then it takes quite a lot of time. Maybe we should just listen in the middle. Let me see if we can listen here. Ah, yes, that's nice. So next up, it's not the last tape yet, but I think I have 2 tapes left. But this tape is from a Canadian project, which name I'll probably not say right. It's called something like Toronted Dwelling. I think it's a really nice tape. It's like it's fairly new, and it's like I don't really know if you would define this as like ambient or noise music, but it's fairly quiet, even though there is not many melodies. But it's really lovely textures, and I read that it has the artist has done the master tape himself and sent it to the label. So there's like a really nice attention to sort of texture, I think, in how the release is, and that's very nice. It's a great recording. Let's listen to a few minutes of that one. So we can play one last tape today, and this one is from the project V Sinclair, which is a person who did really nice. It fun like I feel he's really like like symbol of like what changed with the ambient scene, because he did like tape music, and then like all of a sudden he shifted to doing like almost like MIDI music with, and it was quite nice. Like now he don't do music anymore, but it was like it's very like very clean, like his digital works, but they are still nice. So we're going to listen to a bit of that, and then afterwards the program is officially over. Thanks for listening.